Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, looking a bit bleary-eyed. I've been up since 5 a.m. and now it's about 9:30 p.m. here in the Philippines. And I've got an awesome guest. Last three guests have all been from Australia, my home country. Pretty amazing. But this guest is from the States, and my eyes are starting to water and sting me. Just bear with me for a second, guys. Here we go. I'll come back, hopefully. And the name is a very simple name. Her name is, and she's a simple girl. She's a lovely girl. Her name is Judy Foley. And Judy is looking for her next opportunity in sourcing, can't get my words out, procurement, leading a non-profit based on my operations and strategy expertise. I want something that utilizes my why and her skills. I love to take people and companies to their highest level and achieve results. She's done a lot of that in her past life, guys, which we'll tell you about in a moment. She's been involved in manufacturing, automotive, consumer packaging. Oh, it goes on and on. Chemicals, insurance, finance, healthcare, not-for-profit, which always makes me laugh. I always say to myself, you're not-for-profit, really? How do you pay the bills? How do you pay the lights? You're not-for-profit. Of course you're for profit. You might call yourself not-for-profit, but there's got to be a profit or you won't be able to open the doors. Years in the industry, so I'm a bit cynical about not-for-profits. Years in the industry, she's done this well over 20 years, guys. So she's very popular at what she does. She's good at what she does. She spearheaded strategic development, implementation, enterprises, wide procurement and sourcing initiatives, enhancing supplier performance, and it goes on and on. I'm too tired to talk. It's about four pages here, guys, so I'm not going to go into any of them. I'm going to let our guest tell you the story. Her personal motto or philosophy: step out of your comfort zone and learn new things. And we had a good chat earlier. God, you should be, if you're not, make it a hobby. Learn something new every day. It's so darn simple. Just go on a ChatGPT or read a new book, but learn something every day. God, imagine that's 300 plus things every year that you know, and they're all useful. I left school early, guys, and they told me the bloody Magna Carta was signed in 1066. Nelson was shot in the eye with a fucking arrow. Who cares? That's not going to make me any money. That's not going to give me, unless I go on a quiz show. So learn something practical. The two things I get on a hobby horse about, they should teach at school. Let's make it happen. They should teach health and wealth, like how to stay healthy and how to become wealthy, because they're all important things, right? I don't want to know about bloody algebra or bloody history or geography. I don't care what Christopher Columbus discovered 10,000 years ago. It doesn't really interest me. Right? So that's just me personally. We've all got different views. It's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Judy Foley. How are you, Judy?
I am doing excellent. And I want to thank you for including me in this podcast.
No trouble. It's my great pleasure to do that. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to get to where you are today. What's been inspired you along the way? What have you done?
Well, I think when I was in college, we were actually, I was taking a manufacturing engineering class, and they were producing a product. And I was the person that was responsible for doing all the procurement for that product. Mm-hmm. And I learned that I really liked that and jumped into it and then pursued it as far as my career. And I've done extremely well with that. And then I've been open to new ideas. Like I've met people along the way. One of the gentlemen from McDonald's, corporate executive, said, "Hey, I think you'd be a great entrepreneur based off of your skill sets."
Yes.
And him and I started an organization that helped entrepreneurs, and it was
awesome.
It was a lot of fun. Did that for a number of years, and then I also had a private equity guy that I met at a restaurant. That's
hard work. I've been there, done. That's bloody hard work.
Yeah. He was a great friend, and he wound up seeing my skills by sitting on a board with me and suggested that I help with M&A. And so I just have stepped out of my comfort zone when there's been opportunities that have presented themselves. I would say one thing is always be open to opportunities when they come your way, and don't be limited in, only thinking that you're going to have to go a certain way.
Yeah, I'd add to that, and I'd say, if you open your eyes, guys, and I'll prove it to you in a moment, opportunities are like buses. They come past every day. Now, how I can prove that to you, go out and buy a black Mercedes On your way home, you'll see 9 other black Mercedes. You never saw them before, but now you've got one. You see them everywhere, right? It's interesting what the mind achieves and can see. So, guys, opportunities are everywhere, but you just got to grab them. I tell people, don't think and grow rich, act and grow rich. Action gets traction. Simple as that, you know.
That's true.
And you've got to fail. Don't be frightened to fail. The only people that don't fail are the people that don't do anything. They'll never fail, ever. They won't make it either, but that's another story. What's been the most challenging aspect of your work, and how have you overcome that over the years?
I think, people, when you're actually doing a project, you have to work through different needs. And I've learned that through different parts of the organization, each person has their own personal needs as well as that specific organization.
Like an agenda.
And by hearing what those needs are ahead of time, you can actually then plan as to whether you're going to be able to meet those needs, and also define upfront where you're not. If you don't have people bought into the initiative and really seeing where you're going with this initiative and addressing their needs, sometimes they can fight you in the project.
Yeah.
So I have just found really working through that and addressing what you're going to achieve as far as the scope, and moving forward with that allows people to buy in and understands exactly what the objective will be.
Yeah, and be flexible, guys. Be flexible. It's that simple. Tell us an important moment, Judy, in your career that changed your direction. Where was that big aha moment?
I would say, it was probably after CNA insurance. I actually have met different people that were really seeing different aspects of me that I didn't even see. I think I only saw myself as a supply chain and
you're seeing yourself outwardly, not inwardly.
Yeah, and what I met was a lot of different executives who said, "Oh, you could be doing this, or you could be doing that." And by actually meeting these different people during that time, it opened my eyes to different opportunities that I maybe would never have considered. And I did meet people that, like I said, the private equity guy had me get involved in mergers and acquisitions. The gentleman from
that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's just been different. But I do think meeting different people and being open to what they see in you that you don't see in yourself is important.
Yeah, that's right. Tell me, in your opinion, what are the key qualities and skills that have contributed to your amazing success over the years?
Well, I have an insatiable curiosity that allows me to really see around corners.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, I think in Motorola's, when I was taught early on, I was taught about the whole impact and how it impacts the whole organization. And by asking questions, you can find out how things work and really make sure that you're making the right decisions, and then choose to address those. And I've also, I tend to speak the truth. People buy into me because I speak the truth. And
you got empathy and integrity, my friend, in spades.
Yeah, and I wind up then able to influence results for different projects up and down within the organization, because now they trust me, they feel comfortable with me, and I love that. It's about getting the results and achieving that. And then I said, I would also say that I lack fear. For the most part, I don't allow fear to impact me, and I try to move forward. And if it is impacting me,
you got it together more than most people I've ever met. Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to innovate as you've been doing in your fields? What's the secret there?
I think a number of things. I like to benchmark and see what's happening in the industry.
Lovely.
I read, I listen to podcasts. I read a lot.
Yeah.
And I get involved in different groups within my own field. And I found it's not just important to be involved in your own field, but also getting involved in organizations that are outside of your comfort zone, so you can learn from them as well.
Absolutely. Well, nothing new. Tell me about a recent project or achievement in your career that you're particularly proud of.
I would say, I recently just went ahead and analyzed for a company their whole supply chain and looked at the procurement and sourcing, analyzed the spend, determined what our strategy was going to be for the organization. and worked to implement those changes. And the team that I was working with was exceptional. So it was really fun to actually see the results that were being achieved.
Yeah, I've saved people a lot of money. I tell all people that listen to me, I say, listen, what I want you to do, how many suppliers you got? They go, I got 11. I say, here's a script. I want you to ring them up and say, things are a bit tight at the moment. Is there any way that you know, I'm a good payer and I pay on time all the time. I've been with you for a long time. I'm about to start looking for alternate suppliers because things are getting a bit tough. Is there any chance? What can you do for me? Can you knock off 10%? And you'll be surprised if if 5 out of the 11 say, I'll knock off 10%, that's money back in your pocket for a few lousy phone calls.
Yeah. And I think it's also understanding what the industry is and actually being able to negotiate to get.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not threatening them, but look for alternatives because, I mean, sometimes I've been there. It's cost me a shitload of money to stay loyal. I'm paying one guy $10 an hour or whatever, or $10 for a product, and I could have been getting the product for $7, which was equal, and they were both getting it from China. So there you go, you know. Yeah. But I was staying loyal, and it's okay to stay loyal, but loyalty can also cost you guys. So open your eyes, you know, be open, you know. So next one, what advice would you give a 20-year-old version of you? She walks in the door tomorrow and says, what should I do with myself? And what do you think I should do? What would you tell her?
I would actually say, try and determine what your passion is, what is your goals that you want to achieve, map those out, but then also be open to the change that may occur. Like there may be opportunities that come your way that are going to be outside of your goals, and be open to those as well, because
say yes to most of them and learn.
Yeah, I think so too. Because it opens your eyes to other things, you learn new things, and you're able to go in different directions. I always believe that there's a plan there for each of us, and by utilizing our skill sets and expertise, we can achieve so much more.
Yeah, and I used to be known as the marketing godfather. Now, because I'm 77, people think I'm the marketing grandfather. They think I don't know anything. They're crazy. I know more today than what I knew yesterday. So
I love that.
People like Judy and I, we've been around the block a bit. Reach out. We'll mentor you. We'll help you. And bottom line, it's only a phone call. Have a virtual cup of coffee with Judy and pick her brains, find out what she knows. And she might have, if she doesn't know, she will know someone who knows. That's the key. And people like us, we're happy to help you. Just you got to ask, guys, right? It's pretty that simple. And I also say, get a mentor, guys, like Judy or myself, and you'll save 5 or 10 years off the. We've already made a lot of the mistakes. We can save you a shitload of time and a shitload of money if you listen. Like I also know your mother told you the stove's hot. The first thing you did when she turned her back, you went over and touched it because you can't help yourself. That's how it is in life, right? Looking ahead, Judy, what are your goals? You've got a long way to go yet. You're only at base camp. What are your goals and aspirations for the future?
Well, there's a number of things. One, I definitely look determining what the next step is for me as far as whether I'd like to work in supply chain. I'm really good in the sourcing and procurement side. I'd also like to work in a nonprofit to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And I think the final thing is I'd like to be on a paid board. So those are all things that I'm focused on achieving.
Towards, yeah. Yeah, lovely. With this wonderful podcast, how can our listeners and people watching, how can they find out more about you and your wonderful services? What's the best way?
I would say go ahead and look at Judy Foley MBA out on LinkedIn, and also reach out to me at judyfoleymba@gmail.com. I would love to speak with you and talk to you about anything that I can.
Life, yep.
Yeah, any expertise I have that I can share and help you along as well.
Connect the dots, guys. Do that. Connect the dots. Before we wrap it up, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Oh, gosh. I think the fun fact is I was going through a really tough time in my life, and I wound up, you know how they always say you need to step out of your comfort zone to be all that you can be? So I jumped out of a plane. I wound
awesome.
up taking it. And it was really fun. I mean, it was exciting. It was the first time in my life that I couldn't speak. Like they said, when you're jumping out of the plane and you're dropping, they're
Yeah.
like, you really need to say something so that you pop your ears. But I said it was the only time in my life where I couldn't talk. But it was so much fun, and it was the best thing to actually take me out of that comfort zone and actually not allow anything to stop me from what I was trying to
How many
achieve.
times have you done that, by the way?
Twice. I was going to do it the third time.
Yeah, I hear the
And
story.
yeah, the third time the guy actually had passed away, that I had been doing it with, and I thought, oh, maybe that's the message that I'm not supposed to do
Well, his
it anymore.
parachute didn't open. Imagine that. If that had been your first trip, would have been your first and last. So,
And he was the instructor, so I was like, oh no. But anyways, yeah, that was really fun. That was the best thing I could have done for myself.
And I believe you've been traveling lately. Tell us about your adventures. What brought that upon you?
Oh yeah. So I was working for a company, and so many of the executives left, and I decided to, after they gave me a little package, I wound up doing a bit of traveling and went to Scotland, Paris, London, Germany, Austria. Let's see, what else did I do? There was just so many different countries that I had the
How
opportunity
cool is
to
that,
go
guys?
to.
Most of you watching this podcast, guys, you haven't even been out of your own state. So get a passport, start traveling, start having fun, right? And then it's amazing. You're sitting next to someone on a plane, you can't help but strike up a conversation. They might be your next business partner. They might be your next life partner. You never know. But travel is such a bloody wonderful experience. And I've done it most of my life, and I enjoy every bit of it, right?
I think it's important culturally to see how other countries, what they're doing, and
Absolutely.
meet the people and really hear what's occurring versus.
And don't worry,
just
guys. Every country that she's mentioned has got McDonald's. So in case you're worried what you're going to eat, they've all got
but I love
McDonald's.
the food. Trying the different foods at all these different locations and meeting the people is outstanding.
Yeah, it's fantastic. You've been a wonderful guest, my friend. Thank you very much for being on the show. And folks, if you want to be on the show, I think 15 minutes of fame. I want you to think of this. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. You're going to meet dozens and dozens of wonderful people just like Judy. But a TV commercial back in your state is going to cost you about $30,000. And what's going to happen when it's on, people are going to jump up and start making dinner. They're going to grab a beer, or they're going to go to the toilet and probably miss the whole darn thing. 10 radio spots, different thing. They set you back between $3,000 and $5,000. And guess what? They play them at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning while people are asleep. So you miss out again. Come on, 15 minutes of fame. It's all about you. And you'll tell your story just like Judy. Every one of you have got a story, so we'd love to hear it. And then we put you across Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook, my Facebook group with 6,500 entrepreneurs, and also YouTube, with all your social media links, guys, potentially putting you in front of hundreds of opportunities. So there's a challenge for you people. Reach out, get on 15 minutes of fame, just like Judy Foley has, and we'll make you more famous than what you are already. Judy, you've been an awesome guest. Thanks for being on the show today, my friend.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it, and have a great day.
Thank you very much.